everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Montana Buck, and in today's video I'm going to show you how I created this super sultry, intense, and dramatic black smoky eye. I went ahead and paired it with a classic nude lip, a little bit of gloss, and this is her. So if you guys want to find out how we created today's look, then just keep watching. Okay, brows are applied. Nice and arched, just the way I like them. Now we can go ahead and move into foundation. The foundation I'm using today is my L'Oreal True Match foundation. Then picking up my MAC Fix Plus, I'm going to spritz this onto my beauty sponge. Starting in the neck area, I'm going to begin just evenly distributing this coverage all throughout the skin. Moving on to concealer now. Here I have my ColourPop No Filter Concealer. This is in the shade Medium 20. And then with just a little more Fix Plus on the sponge, I'm going to begin pressing the concealer into the areas where we applied it. And then pretty quickly after we have our concealer blended into the skin, I'm picking up this translucent loose powder here. This is the Too Faced Born This Way Loose Ethereal Setting Powder. Picking it up on my Morphe M438 tapered blending brush. I'm going to begin pressing this into the areas where we applied our concealer, just to set it and make sure that it stays in place all day long. I'm also going to be taking some of this powder onto the forehead. I really love this powder for the fact that it gives me a really nice blurring effect. So any little fine lines and wrinkles that I've got on my forehead, this just kind of erases them. They just disappear. So yay for the Too Faced Born This Way setting powder. And then picking up a little bit more of a fluffier brush here, I'm just taking whatever's left in that cap and I'm going to begin swirling it on the sides of my cheeks. This is just going to help prepare us for when we go in with our bronzer. I find that applying a powder bronzer on top of this powder, or really any setting powder for that matter, will really help the two powders to combine together in a very seamless fashion. I've noticed that if I just apply my liquid foundation and then I go in with a bronzer straight on top of the liquid, it can become a little patchy sometimes. So this is just an extra step that I like to take to ensure that my bronzer stays smooth. And then just a dash of powder on the brush to quickly glide over the neck and the under chin area, just to set the foundation that we laid down there earlier. This way we also have a really nice color consistency between the neck and the face, so you're not going to be two different colors. I thought my camera was recording and it wasn't. I already went ahead and applied some bronzer. This is my Too Faced, what is this? I was going to say my Too Faced Born This Way Dark Chocolate Soleil. This is my Too Faced Dark Chocolate Soleil. It's not the Born This Way line, although I do love those products. What I've done already is I've taken this brush here. This is my Eco Tools all over face brush. I just began here right around the top of the ear, and in swirling circular motions, I started at the top, and then as the product began to leave the brush, I kind of dragged that bronzer a little bit lower on the face, just to create a little bit of nice symmetry and structure in the face. I went ahead and did it on the other side. We're going to continue by taking this up into the temple, and then even up into the hairline as well. A little tip recently that I've been liking to do with my bronzer is applying it slightly up higher. I'm finding that this really creates a nice slimming effect on the face, and it really lifts the cheekbones. But watch what happens when I apply it slightly higher. I really don't like to do my bronzer the same way anymore, so I just take it up a little bit higher now, and I really like it. I also want to swirl a little bit of this right underneath the chin. I've got a breakout down here. Oh, there it is. You guys probably couldn't even see it before, and now I'm just like exposing myself. But I didn't have this like a couple days ago. Actually, what had happened was I applied a 15-minute face mask, and I got so tired that I fell asleep with the mask on. So I woke up the next morning and I was like, I cannot believe that I did that. Like, that's so unlike me to fall asleep in a face mask or even fall asleep in makeup. Like, that's a big no-no for me. So the fact that that happened was like, what? When I woke up and I rinsed it off, I had like this massive zit underneath my chin here, and even one like on the side of my mouth, and then I got one here on the side of my face. And I know that this particular face mask doesn't usually break me out. I know that the reason I broke out was because I left it on for way longer than the recommended time. I definitely learned my lesson with that. I'm not going to be putting on any face masks if I'm too tired to wash them off. That's just like, get it together, Tana. Picking up this little fluffy brush here. Well, I shouldn't say little. It's a little bit on the larger side for a fluffy brush. I'm just going to tap into this like 2 or maybe 3 times, tap off the excess, and I'm going to begin sculpting the sides of my nose a little bit and lightly dust these on the sides. Not trying to be too harsh, because with my nose contour, if I'm not too careful, I can make my nose look really dirty really fast. So we're just going to be really light-handed and really careful. I also want to take this up towards the eyebrow. I really love the effect that this gives me. I kind of feel like it really changes the shape of my whole face. I'm picking up and going back in with a little bit more of that Too Faced Born This Way loose Ethereal setting powder. I've got some more of it in the cap here. And then I'm picking up my contoured Morphe sponge. I love this for baking because it's got this nice flat edge, so I can really get that sharp, beautiful contour that I'm looking for. We're going to start just about in the latter corner and then stop right where the edge of the jawbone cuts off. Like so. I'm also going to take this powder on the sides of the nose just to clean up any extra bronzer that I laid down on there and to sharpen up that contour a bit. And then whatever's kind of just like hanging out on the little sponge here, I kind of like to press it in between the brows. I do make a lot of expression in this area throughout the day, and I notice sometimes my foundation or my concealers can begin to crease in this area. So this is just a nice little trick to keep that from happening. Moving on to highlighter, I have this little mini baby Jouer highlighter. This is in the shade Skinny Dip. It came in a 3-pack gift set, which also included their ice highlight and the rose gold. All 3 of them are very beautiful. I find that I can wear the ice highlight when I'm really, really fair. And then the rose gold is fun just for a special occasion. But my all-time favorite in the gift set would have to be Skinny Dip. It's a little bit more on the goldeny, bronzy side. So when I have a nice tan, I love to use this. It's so beautiful in the summertime too. I know it's November right now and there's literally snow outside everywhere, but I'm just going to pretend and we're going to have us a nice, bronzy, beautiful summer glow. Picking up another Real Techniques beauty sponge. This one's been cleaned. I'm going to press into the highlighter and we're going to begin applying this on the high points of our cheekbones. And just dab, 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 dab that highlight into the skin. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. If you love highlight and you are a highlight queen / connoisseur, I highly recommend Skinny Dip by Jouer. It is just absolutely beautiful. Whew. Take a little bit of this on the Cupid's bow. Just a dash right above the eyebrows so we have some nice balance between our cheeks and the forehead. My camera overheated again while I was applying my nose highlight, so off camera I just went ahead and finished that up really quick. My powder has been sitting on for quite a minute now while I let my camera cool down. So moving on with the tutorial, I'm picking up that fluffy brush again and I'm going to just swirl all of that bakage off and away. And with that same contoured Morphe sponge, I'm going to take the pointier end of the sponge, dipping it into some more of that translucent powder, and I'm just going to apply a generous layer of this underneath the eye to prepare us for some of the eyeshadows that we're going in with for today's look. They're going to be super dark and dramatic eyeshadows just to prevent against any potential fallout. So we look a little crazy right now, but once we have our eyeshadows applied, we can just go ahead and dust this off and it'll look like it was never there. That is the beauty of translucent powder. The palette that we are going in with today for our eyeshadow is this one here by Morphe. This is the 35N palette by Morphe brushes. In today's look, I really want to go for a super dark, dramatic, blacked out smoky eye. The first color in the palette that I want to go in with is this one right here. So I'm going to pick this up on a fluffy crease brush, and I'm going to begin applying this as my transition shade, starting in the outer corner, and then as the product begins to leave the brush, I'm slowly going to disperse this eyeshadow, probably I would say about 3/4 in towards the inner corner, but not going all the way into the inner corner, as this can begin to make the eyes look a little bit smaller. And because we are working with so many dark eyeshadow shades today, I really want to be able to keep the darkness of the eyeshadows, but also keep the eyes open and awake and super sultry and dramatic. The next color in today's look that I want to use from this palette is this one right here. I'm just going to begin layering these shades, starting from lightest to darkest, so we get a really, really nice faded, smooth blend. I remember when I first started practicing with makeup, smoky eyes were really one of the main reasons why I fell in love with makeup. And in the beginning of my personal makeup journey, smoky eyes were so difficult for me to achieve. They were so time consuming, and at the end of the look, I would look in the mirror and I would just not be happy with the quality of the look. Black eyeshadows, or just dark eyeshadows in general, can be really difficult to work with, especially as a beginner. And so through trial and error and through just taking my time and really working those eyeshadows in with the different blending brushes, I have learned to create the smoky eye that I'm proud of. And so I really want to go in depth with this tutorial and really show you guys how much blending really is required when creating a smoky eye with black eyeshadow. Next, I want to pick up this deeper brown shade here. Again, just layering these browns so that we can build up and work our way into the black eyeshadows. Picking up, pretty much you could use any single one of these shades here. I think I'm going to go in and mix these two together. And I'm going to lightly buff out these edges just to keep the edges of the browns looking very smooth. Picking up a little bit more of a denser fluffy brush here, I'm going to be choosing this top shade here. It's kind of like a nice hot cocoa brown with very slight purple undertones. Starting low, I really want to be careful not to bring these super dark shades up too high. As the product starts to blend, you can slowly but surely drag these up just a little bit higher, but just keep in mind not to go too high up because I don't want to look like I have a black eye. The odds of you actually achieving your dream smoky eye the first or second time that you attempt to practice it, it's most likely not going to happen. Smoky eyes can be very tricky. They can be very time consuming, and so I really just want to stress to you guys the fact to be patient with yourself, really let the brush do the work, and practice makes perfect, you know. Don't be too hard on yourself. You'll get it. Back in with that fluffy brush and a little more of that light neutral shade. I'm going to go along the edges again and give it a nice blend. Moving on, I'm going to be picking up this super deep purple shade here and layer this purple on top of the brown. I'm not necessarily trying to do a purple smoky eye, but in this palette, all of these colors go together, and the purple is the next darkest shade next to the black. So we're just going to use this color to deepen that transition. Taking my time and going back and forth between the fluffier brush that I used with the lighter shades and then this little bit more denser fluffy brush with the darker shades. So I'm like, boop, 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 boop. We're just going back and forth until I get the desired blend that I'm looking for. Next, I'm picking up a little bit of a different fluffy brush here. I'm going to be dipping back into the palette and we're going to choose this black shade here. To really intensify this shade, I'm going to pick up some of my Fix Plus and we're going to very lightly, because I don't want to saturate this brush and then end up with like ink, very lightly we're going to just twirl it around one more time. Okay, that's all. What I'm going to do is begin taking that black eyeshadow and just very lightly pressing it into the center of the eyelid. This particular eyeshadow is why I decided to lay down that protective layer of powder, just because the black is so black. If we do have any of it fall on the cheeks, I don't want it to stain. And right now I'm just using pressing motions. I'm not really blending. I just want to really get that color down and build it up to be as dark as I can possibly get it. I want to go back in with this purple here. I'm just going to begin to blend the edges so that we have a really smooth transition between the black and the browns up top. Now this is the part in the look where you start to be looking really crazy, but once we go in with our eyeliner and we apply some false lashes and we pair it with a nice nude lipstick, it's all gonna come together like mwah, flawless. Picking up those neutral shades. Like I said, when completing a smoky eye, there is lots of blending involved to make it come together properly, and it can be very time consuming. Clean up the edges a little bit here and soften them out a bit. Sorry guys, I thought my camera was recording and it wasn't. It's a little bit of a smaller blending brush. So I took this brush and I dipped it into this warm orangey shade right here. I began smoking out the lower lash line, picking up a flat definer brush, something like this. Dip it into that deep purple shade. Just sticking this on the outer corner. I am going to dip it into the black and do the same thing on the outer corner. Very, very careful where we target this black. In with that first initial fluffy brush that we used to apply the orangier shade and begin blending that purple and that black into the orange. I'm going to pick up a little bit more of a denser brush. With this one here, I'm really almost out of this, so I'm just really digging for it. Over the the brow bone. Same thing on the other side. Picking back up that fluffy brush, I'm just going to wipe away all of that translucent powder that we laid down underneath the eyes. I did have a little bit of fallout, I don't know if you guys could tell, on top of the powder, so that's why we did this, just to prevent any messes. Next, going in with some eyeliner. This one I have here is by NYX. This is the Slide On, Glide On, Slide On, Glide On, Stay On, and definitely a turn on waterproof jet black eyeliner. No. Really quickly, using this black felt tip eyeliner. I honestly cannot even tell you guys what brand it is because the labeling on it has completely worn off. I really have no idea, but Any sort of black liquid eyeliner will do for this portion. I'm really quickly going to go ahead and draw on some wings. Next, I'm going to apply some mascara. Today we're using the NARS Climax Mascara. I love this because it's so compatible with false lashes. So if you love false lashes and you want to have a mascara that your false lashes are really going to mesh with and they're going to like just go together really well and look super fresh, this is the one I recommend. The trick to get your lashes extra long is to actually dab the product on the very tip of the lashes and then go from the very root and slide all the way up. These are the eyelashes that we'll be going in with for today's look. They are in collaboration with Vegas Nay, and they're in the style Bronze Beauty. Really quick, I'm going to go ahead and apply some lash adhesive onto the strip lash. Gonna let it get tacky for a minute, and we'll go ahead and apply our lashes. Now that we have our lashes applied, they're very full and very dramatic. Exactly what I was going for today's smoky eye. It's going to quickly go over the lash band just to cover up any glue that might be showing through. Moving on to the lip portion of today's video, I'm picking up one of my all-time favorite nude lip liners. This is by NYX Cosmetics, and it's in the shade Los Angeles. For lipstick, I'm choosing the most brightest and lightest nude lipstick that I currently own. This is by MAC Cosmetics, and this is in the shade Creme de Nude. Picking up another MAC lipstick here. This is in the shade YASH. I'm going to use this darker nude just on the outer portions of the lips just so it doesn't look so concealer lip like. This is like bringing me back to high school where I used to wear concealer on my lips and just black eyeliner pencil all over and smudged out and make it as dark and smoky as I can. Creme de Nude all by itself was a little bit too light. I didn't really like it as much as I thought I was going to, but layering the YASH lipstick on top really helped. The next thing I want to do is just top it with some lip gloss. This is one that I purchased at the beauty supply store. It was under $5. Nothing too crazy, just want to get that glossy effect. Use my finger. The stuff comes out really fast, and I don't want to have a goopy mouth, so. Picking back up a little bit of that MAC Fix Plus, I'm going to spritz the whole face. Really quickly off camera, I'm going to finish my hair and I will be right back. Alright guys, that is today's look finished and completed. I know that not everybody's going to be comfortable wearing this much black on their eyes, and not everybody's going to feel comfortable going out in public looking like this. So I understand that this look isn't for everybody and this style isn't for everybody, but for me personally, I love the way it looks. I feel so good wearing this. If you're one of my smoky eye queens, I really hope that you enjoyed today's video. And even if you're not a smoky eye queen and you just enjoyed watching today's video, I want to say thank you for spending some time with me. If you did have fun watching this, then please leave me a like and a comment down below. And if you haven't subscribed already, then what are you waiting for, girl or boy? What's up? I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching today's video, and hopefully I will see you in my next one. Alright guys, bye.